Hi, everyone. Welcome to Elevated and On the Go. I am your host, Desi Eckstein, known as Drone Diva Desi. And this is where we talk with people that are inspiring and making a difference through technology, education, and exploration. And today we have the honor of talking with Brenda Wilson. She is the owner of DieHard RC, and she's also affiliated with a program that is amazing, and it's called 1,000 Drones for 1,000 Girls. I'm excited to have you here, Brenda. So before we get started, welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. But before we get started, I want to know about you. I want to know about your journey. How did you get where you are today? You're very involved with the RC end of things, the drones, and STEM. So tell us about your journey.
Well, thank you for having me on the podcast, and it means a lot. We've worked really hard to get our name out there to represent, the remote control industry as well. I started the girls program about 6 years ago, and it's grown a lot. So originally I was in corporate. I worked for a telecommunications company and I was an engineering manager. I managed a large team of engineers. We were doing fiber optic technology builds into major cities. And through that, I got to do a lot of community outreach. And one of the programs that I was involved in was First Robotics. And I really, really loved to see that program and how it impacted the kids and the families were involved. I mean, it was like a Super Bowl of the mind, and I loved every minute of it. I loved seeing that kids that were involved in this, they looked at it as a sport. A lot of the kids, maybe they wouldn't have been involved in traditional sports like football or something like that. But they found a way to be involved in a team sport. And man, did they go crazy over it. And I saw them using a lot of the same technology that my husband used in the remote control sport that he was involved in. And I was like, this is interesting because they're using the same controllers and all the same equipment. And so I told him about it, and one of the tracks by us had gone out of business, had stopped, and so there wasn't a local track, and he started talking about it, and I said, well, why don't we put on an event at just a local Boys and Girls Club and see how that goes. And it just exploded from there. And it's been very successful. And now we're 10 years in, and it just continues to grow.
Awesome. Awesome. So really quick, like, where are you located?
We are in Washington State, outside of Seattle, so north.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that is so exciting. And isn't it amazing how just one part of a connection explodes into so much more and how they can
Yes.
kind of cross over and such like that. So that was kind of the beginning of your Die Hard RC. And thank you for telling us what RC stood for, right? Awesome, awesome. So Die Hard RC has been in business for now, you said 10 years?
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah, I left my corporate job in 2018. So we'd done it a couple years and it just kept growing. And then I was like, I was working basically two full-time jobs. Building a business is hard work. And when I had the opportunity to step away and retire, kind of from my corporate job, I took it, and it was a scary move, but I wouldn't have changed it for anything.
awesome. Awesome. All right. So I want to elaborate a little bit more about Die Hard RC. So you have a facility there in Washington that you run the program through. Do you have more than one location?
Yes. So, when we first started, we were a traveling series, and that was because in our area, it's very expensive to rent or buy a facility. And so we just started doing our events like at Boys and Girls Clubs. And then we got so big that we started doing our events at the fairgrounds close to us. And then through one of the big events that we were doing, we had a gentleman approach us about a piece of property that he said we could build a track on. And so we went out and looked at it. And, we didn't have enough time at that point to build a track. It's a lot of work. But this new thing that we'd seen called drone racing. I'd seen it on YouTube. It was really popular, and I was very involved in technology, and I just was enamored with it. It was in 2015, so it was really just starting. And so we said, hey, we can't do this RC car thing, but let's try this drone thing out. And that was huge. That year, we did a regional championship with multi GP. We grew, I mean, our events grew very quickly. And it was then that we knew, okay, these drones are something that's going to be around. And then we created a veterans program where I'm a veteran, and we created a veterans programs using drones for veterans who deal with PTSD. And it was very successful. I was very proud of that program because I did see a lot of veterans go through, and they said it was the best therapy that they ever
Wow.
encountered. So,
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. So now segue in, here's drones coming on to it. And yes, in the beginning, you said 19 or in 2015. And so, yeah, that is just about the beginning of it, right? And so
yep.
here you are segueing forward. So tell us a little bit about 1,000 drones for 1,000 girls. That is a lofty goal right there. Tell us about
Yeah.
that. I'm excited.
Yeah. So probably I would say 2019. Well, let's go back. Say 2017. I flew to a drone conference uh put on by is it Women in Drones that puts on the drone conference? It was in Denver. And I'd been talking to a woman that was involved. She was also a veteran. Her name was Sue Bickford. And so we decided to both go to this drone conference and meet up. And it just spurred a friendship that was very strong and lasted. We both like came together, and we were very passionate about drones, and we started a few businesses trying to like see where could we go and to help other women veterans get involved in drones. But we were both more than women veterans. We wanted to empower women and girls. And so eventually we landed. Sue was on a walk one day, and she said, she told her husband she wanted to get 1,000 drones in 1,000 girls' hands. And that's what started that nonprofit. And so Sue and I worked on that. We built a website and worked on curriculum, just try and figure out how could we impact girls and women in drones. And it's been a program that I'm really proud of.
Oh, it is amazing. And I know Sue has passed and she has left a legacy behind. That is for sure.
Yeah.
I know she has created curriculum.
Yes.
And it's phenomenal and just her heart and her outreach. And so it's amazing that you have been able to continue the program. And so I imagine there's been some hurdles, not just with the 1,000 girls, but also with DieHard RC or STEM outreach. So what have been some of those hurdles that you have had?
Well, once Sue passed, we switched gears and created a scholarship, a more memorial scholarship. And so there was a lot when you have a nonprofit and one of the founders passes. So a big hurdle's been pivoting. what do we do with all of the information that had been collected throughout the years? What do we do with that? And, we had to just kind of start from scratch. Sue had a big goal of 1,000 girls, but you got to start small. When she was alive, we were thinking so big, and we did impact hundreds of girls through our programs, through outreach, through events that we were doing. We would get drones in girls' hands just to try them out, to try and spur that imagination and that excitement. But since, working with Desi, we have been able to bring two girls through the Memorial Scholarship program to gain their 107 certificate. And just, at this point, we're building that program, and we're excited to see where it goes in the future.
Yes, and it has been amazing. So share with us about some of the successes.
Yeah, we've had two girls already go through the program. Our first was her name's Taylor, and she was involved through college in environmental studies and really focused on GIS mapping, which was right up Sue's alley because she was an environmental impact, uh, like worked through one of the at Wells Reserve. And so she did all of their environmental studies and all their GIS mapping. And so we thought Taylor, as our first recipient, was perfect. And she is looking to add to her resume, so that she is more employable. And then our second was Grace, and she's a 17-year-old senior in high school, and she wanted to just add to her skill set because she had been involved in full-scale aviation. So those two recipients have now got their 107 certificate, and it just makes us so proud to see these girls, go through the training, to work with you, Desi, and to pass with really high numbers. So that's been really great to see. And we're looking forward to expanding on that scholarship program and getting more girls and women involved, and moving forward with that program and being able to just impact more in the future.
It is amazing and it's so exciting. And from the perspective of getting through the Part 107, which is the scholar side of things, the educational side, the knowledge side. But when you see somebody that actually gets their hands on the sticks and fly, it just sparks inside them. And it's so amazing when they see that higher perspective and you being
Mhm.
able to be in an environment where you have the youth and you're doing the outreach and you're seeing that actually, like you said, works both ways, not just the drones, but for an RC car and being on the track. And so there's a lot of ways that a connection can be made. And so I want to step back a little bit about your program. And when I spoke with Grace at one point, she had said that the way she found you was because you were at a either an expo or you had a booth at some sort of an event. Does that do you recall being there at the event? And
I wasn't there because the nonprofit is East Coast, West Coast. So the Thousand Drones from 1,000 Girls is based out of New Hampshire, which is where Sue lived. And so they were at an aviation conference or an open house at one of the flight museums. And Grace was there, and they had a booth where they were showing people how to fly with the oh my gosh, what is it called? I can't remember the name of the drone that they were using now, but the co-drone. They were using the
oh, okay.
co-drone. So they we're letting kids and adults go in and use those and fly through some different obstacles. And Grace was there and she saw the information about the scholarship. And that's how that got started.
Awesome, awesome. So that works twofold. One, if you are interested in a program, get out there, go to the events, get your hands on the stick. There's opportunities out there. Also, on the other side, if somebody wanted to start a program, and this is perfect because you're connecting dots. They don't all have to be perfectly aligned, and you find that there's connection between them. And so if
Yeah.
somebody was wanting to start a program, doing an outreach, getting out there like that, being present in an environment is key. And so, what other kind of advice would you have for somebody that was maybe wanting to start some sort of a program? And it could be totally off topic, but if somebody wanted to start a program,
Well, one of the things through our nonprofit that we would love to do, because we could impact more girls and women and kids in general, because it doesn't have to just be girls and women. But if there was a teacher or somebody that is already involved in technology programs, but doesn't have their 107 certificate, we would love to do a train the trainer and to help them get their 107 so that they can continue to utilize that to train the kids and to expand their drone program. So that's also part of our scholarship program is not only the individuals that want to get their 107, but the teachers and the trainers that need to get their 107 as well. So that's right up our alley. We would love to be in contact with those individuals too.
awesome, awesome. Okay, well, that is just the perfect segue. How do we reach you?
Oh, you can reach me either at Brenda at diehardrc.com,
Okay.
or Brenda at 1,000drones for 1,000girls.org.
Okay, and I will put that in our link so that way we don't have to be writing really quick like.
Yeah.
So, Brenda, you have such an inspiring story. I love all the success and thinking outside the box, how you brought it all together. I love all of that. Do you have any advice or anything that you'd like to share with someone that would be watching right now?
I think the biggest thing, when you're creating a program specifically for a demographic, whether it's girls or youth or veterans, I think it's important to find kind of the avenues where you, for one, you can reach them, but you know, utilizing your skill set to help build confidence and empower others through your knowledge or your excitement or passion around different programs or different elements or drones or RC cars, whatever you're into, is really finding ways to connect and start building a community, whether it's super small, where it's just a meetup and you come together to show off what you have or to fly together or just even to race RC cars in a parking lot, is just start small and build from there. I mean, be very vocal about what you're doing. Facebook has been amazing for us. We were doing Facebook when everybody else was saying go to Instagram or do all of this. Well, it's just me and my husband, and I do all the social media. So I was just like, well, I'll post some things on Instagram, but my primary is Facebook because that's what I was most comfortable with. And so I was very consistent about posting, not only building a page for my brand, but sharing that on my personal page as well. And now we have over 12,000 followers on our DieHard RC Facebook, and our posts get 1 million+ views a month. And some of our posts go viral and get millions of views. So,
Wow.
it's just being consistent, putting the message out there, and sharing with groups that have like passion or have already started, building those communities, look for that in your area because you'll be surprised once you start searching, those things just come to you. It just pops up all the time.
Well, that's the algorithm, yes.
Yes.
It really
Yep.
does. It really does.
Yep.
And you make a really valid point. And I find myself really victim of this. I have shiny object syndrome, and boy, am I just all over the place. And so being able to dial in and really focus on one avenue, I'm going
Hmm.
to go social media, I'm going to go here. It is very helpful because now you're just building that brand and really focusing in on here's my outreach. This is what I
Yeah.
want everyone to know. And
Yeah.
so,
And now, we've expanded. So we have a YouTube channel. I have a TikTok channel. I do have Instagram. They're just not very big channels. But I can feed the information that I'm doing to all the different things. But now Facebook has really grown. Like they have, reels and shorts. And so you can take what you put on YouTube and break it up into pieces and use different parts of it in different areas of social media. So, it's just trying to find those it's just the quick little hits that people like. They
mm,
don't really like long form, it seems, anymore. So the reels, the, 1 minute, 30-second reels have been huge.
yeah,
So finding little snippets and using those to drive people to your long form content, I think is important.
right, right. And get out there and experience it. Be
Yes.
present.
Yeah, you got to be present. You got to build a community. You got to be involved and put yourself out there because the community, like the biggest thing with any of the programs that we do, I can't do it all. We went from, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? It's just me and my husband to building our friends that were also excited about it. And now, every event that we have over 30 volunteers that come to
Ah,
help us set up. So, people want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And so create that and welcome them in and make them feel special, make them feel part of it. And that builds that brand up.
awesome. Well, that is fabulous advice. So thank you. And just congratulations on all of your success. It's wonderful. And it's so good to hear. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for you and getting out there. So thank you. And so I want to be respectful of your time. I want to thank you for joining us here today. And thank you for that great advice for someone.
Oh
And
yeah.
I will put all of your links because at the end there you said several more. I'm going to put them all into our YouTube so everybody will be able to connect with you. All right.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.